My name is Keith Arnold. I'm the head of the Arnold Gang, one of the most prominent gangs in the Kanto region. Back in my youth, I used to make quite a name for myself, but now that I've reached 65, I think I've mellowed out a bit. I lost my wife early on, and now I live alone. Sometimes I feel lonely, but I've learned to enjoy life in my own way. Even I, someone like this, was once a kid. Today is a reunion of my high school. Quite a few classmates have passed away, so it's expected to be a bit of a somber gathering. To brighten things up, the event encourages everyone to bring a partner. Naturally, I'll be attending alone, but most others will have someone with them. It's lively in its own way. Each person takes their seat, nibbling on the dishes laid out in front of them and pouring beer for one another from the bottles on the tables. Then, I felt a gaze directed at me. When I looked in the direction of the stare, I saw a surprisingly beautiful woman for her age. Is she a classmate? No, there couldn't have been someone that stunning back then. As I pondered, she smiled at me and nodded slightly. I returned the nod, but I still couldn't recall who she was. A little later, she approached me, accompanied by a familiar-looking man. It was Lucas. Lucas was the kind of guy who was always trying to act tough since we were kids. Of course, he was part of a delinquent group and even joined a motorcycle gang. But no matter how long he stayed in those groups, he never became an executive, let alone a leader. I was stunned to see that Lucas, of all people, had a beauty like her by his side. "Hey, Keith." Lucas called out in a friendly tone. "Hey, Lucas. It's been a while. What, no partner with you?" "Yeah, my wife passed away a long time ago." "I see, that's tough." "Yeah, it gets lonely sometimes, but it can't be helped." "Well, I managed to marry someone as beautiful as this lady." "Even in a place like this, there's no one as gorgeous as her, right?" "That's true, she is quite stunning." "Heh, Catherine is my pride and joy," Lucas said with a delighted grin. Then, Catherine playfully poked him in the side. "Oh, right. She wants me to introduce you." "Oh? Me? Come to think of it, we did lock eyes earlier, didn't we?" "Yes, when I heard your name was Keith, I wondered if you might be the head of the Arnold gang." "Well, yes, that's me." "I thought so. I'm the daughter of the head of the Turner gang." "Thank you for always looking out for us." "Ah, the Turner gang? I appreciate everything on your end as well." In reality, the Turner gang isn't all that big. However, the Turner gang's leader and I have a good understanding, and my successor seems to get along well with him too. My father often talks about you, Keith. He says you're incredibly strong, well-mannered, and an honorable man. That's a bit too much praise. As Lucas's wife sang my praises, I felt a bit flustered and thought this was rather troublesome. Meanwhile, Lucas looked noticeably unhappy. "What's this? So you became the head of the Arnold gang, huh? But in the end, you've retired, right?" "Well, yeah." "Retired, huh? Does that mean you've quit the gang life too?" "Yeah, at 65, I can't exactly keep doing this forever." "What about you, Lucas? Are you still in the game?" "Of course. There's no retirement age for a gang." "Well, you're not wrong about that." "So, are you set to inherit the leadership of the Turner gang?" "Well, that's probably true. But no, that's not the case." To my surprise, Catherine flatly denied it. Normally, one would assume that a son-in-law would naturally inherit the position, but she outright dismissed the idea. "Hey, what the hell?" Lucas blurted out. "Excuse me," she said. "The Turner gang has a capable underboss, and he will surely take over the leadership." "Oh, I see," I replied. "Excuse me for a moment." "Honey, I'll just step out to the restroom," she said. Sure." Lucas responded, a little flustered. It seemed like she thought she might have said something she shouldn't have and headed off to the restroom. That left just Lucas and me, but we didn't have much to talk about. After all, I hardly had any real connection with Lucas. No shared memories, no common topics to reminisce about. So, I steered the conversation toward Catherine. She really is a beautiful woman. Full of life too. Do you two plan on traveling together in the future? Nah, I'm still active in the game. I don't have time for that. Unlike you, who's living an easy life. Well, I wouldn't say it's all that easy, but I do have plenty of free time. Must be nice to live like that, he said, once again with a displeased look on his face. Hey, you're not thinking of messing with Catherine, are you? Out of nowhere, he came out with this outrageous accusation. I looked at Lucas's face and realized he wasn't joking. What the hell are you talking about? I'm serious. Earlier, you were exchanging looks with her, weren't you? We just happened to make eye contact, that's all. She's a beauty, I get why you'd want to look, but remember, she's my wife. Yeah, I get it. For someone who gets it, you sure seemed to enjoy chatting with her earlier. It was just small talk. She's the daughter of Turner Gang's leader, so of course, she greeted me properly. Or maybe you had ulterior motives for talking to her? Are you serious right now? Do you even hear yourself? Aren't you tired of coming up with this nonsense? I'm not tired at all. Listen, she's way out of your league. I never said I wanted her. A woman like her would never end up with someone as low-ranking as you. Didn't you hear me earlier? I told you I'm the head of the Arnold gang. What part of that screams low-ranking to you? Shut up. I've hated you since we were kids. And now you're a boss? Give me a break. How can I accept that? I'm still active. But you're living the high life. How does that even make sense? That's not for me to answer. I've worked hard to get where I am. Worked hard? You were just lucky to be the son of the previous leader of the Arnold gang. That's why you became the boss, isn't it? Meanwhile, no matter how hard I work, I can't even make it to the executive level. Wait, are you telling me you're still not an executive at your age? You're still just a grunt? Shut up. I don't need to hear that from you, you lowly grunt. Lowly grunt? You must be joking. Don't try to drag me down just because you're stuck at the bottom. I never wanted to be an executive anyway. You seemed pretty bitter about it just now. You're contradicting yourself. Are you all right? Shut up. My wife is the daughter of Turner Gang's leader. That makes me way better than someone like you. The more you talk, the more pathetic you sound. Face it, at your age, you're not climbing any higher. Why not settle for mentoring the younger guys? It'd make your life easier. Shut up. I don't need advice from you. Fine, suit yourself. I was just trying to help. Honestly, your wife must be an incredible woman to stick with someone like you. She's a gem. That's right. She's my pride and joy. You'd never land someone like her, so don't even dream about it. Sure, I'm envious. But honestly, I feel sorry for her being stuck with you. She could have married someone far better. Even Mr. Turner must feel frustrated seeing her with you. What do you mean frustrated? She's with me because she wants to be. No one else deserves her but me. What a lot of confidence you've got. Where does it even come from? I'm not interested in becoming some kind of leader or anything. I'm all about staying on the front lines my whole life. That's the kind of life I live, and that's exactly what she's fallen for. It was obvious he envied me, yet his pride wouldn't let him admit it. Is that so? Well, your logic is all over the place, but if that's what works for you, who am I to judge? I don't really care how others choose to live their lives. Of course, you don't. After all, you're spending your twilight years alone, aren't you? What a pitiful old man you are. Yeah, you're not wrong. Not having a wife does get lonely sometimes. If you're that lonely, why don't you get remarried? Not that you'd ever find someone as good as my wife, no matter how hard you try. It seemed Lucas' entire sense of self-worth was wrapped up in his wife. Without her, he probably wouldn't have anything to brag about. I worked hard to win her over, you know. No ordinary guy could ever dream of getting a woman like her. Is that so? By now, I had lost interest in the conversation entirely. I wanted to leave this nonsense behind. And to make matters worse, Lucas wouldn't let anyone else approach me. Whenever a classmate tried to talk to me, he glared at them until they backed off. I couldn't understand why he was so fixated on me. I wish he'd hurry up and come back, I thought. It's pathetic that he can't even talk to anyone else without her around. No wonder everyone avoids him with those glares. Hey! I'm talking to you, and you're not even listening. Huh? Were you saying something? Sorry, I was thinking about something else. What? Thinking about my wife, weren't you? What? That's it, isn't it? You were thinking about my wife. You bastard. I wasn't thinking about her at all. I was lost in my own thoughts. Yeah, right. You've got nothing else to think about, do you? You're not even working anymore. Come on. Even I have things to think about. Don't be so quick to dismiss me. Yeah, sure. The only thing you've ever thought about is women. Back in the day, you always stole the girls I was seeing. Did that really happen? Of course, it did. You're that kind of guy. I tilted my head in confusion. We hardly interacted when we were kids, so I had no idea who he had been dating back then. And yet, he claimed I stole someone from him. Although, thinking back, there was a time I ended up dating a girl who turned out to have been involved with Lucas. But that wouldn't count as stealing, would it? Look, I can't speak to stuff from when we were kids. I never intentionally took any girl from you. If I dated someone who turned out to have been with you, I didn't know at the time. That's all there is to it. So you admit you took her from me, he shouted. How do you figure that? Are you sure you're not losing it? Maybe a bit of dementia? Or is it just your imagination running wild? It's neither. You're just mocking me. I'm not mocking you. I'm worried about you. We're both 65 now. You think you're fine. But sometimes things start breaking down without you realizing it. I'm still active. Nothing's breaking down on me. Fine, have it your way. There's no reasoning with you. Just go back to your table. What did you say? You're trying to send me back so you can hit on my wife, aren't you? Don't be ridiculous. Give it a rest, will you? Who are you calling ridiculous? You bastard. I won't forgive this. With that, Lucas threw a punch at my face. Caught off guard, I couldn't dodge, and the blow knocked me down. Before I could recover, Lucas straddled me and started raining punches on my face. Never in my life did I think I'd be pinned down and beaten like this at my age. The classmates around us screamed in shock and panic. This reunion was completely ruined. Stop it, Lucas. Shut up. You're the one I can never forgive. As Lucas struck me again, Catherine returned, letting out a horrified scream. What are you doing? Stop it. Desperately shouting for him to stop, she pulled at Lucas's clothes to get him off me. By the time he finally got off, I had a nosebleed. I grabbed a napkin from the table and wiped it away. Catherine, clearly panicked, quickly called a staff member to bring a towel and handed it to me. But the bleeding wouldn't stop. She trembled, tears streaming down her face, as she apologized profusely. I'm so sorry. My husband has done something truly terrible. Please forgive us. Why are you apologizing? I'm not the one at fault here. And besides, I'm your husband. So why the hell are you crying over him getting a nosebleed? I'm really sorry. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. It's just been a while since I've been hit like that, so I was a bit surprised. You need to apologize too. I don't need to apologize for anything. Why the hell are you apologizing so much to him? It's ridiculous. Don't tell me you're falling for this guy? Are you insane? Do you even realize who you're talking about? He's the head of the Arnold gang. Do you understand what kind of trouble you've caused? I don't care about that. Arnold gang or not, he's just a classmate to me. I've got no reason to be scared of him. Think about the position you're in. I'm so sorry. Are you hurt anywhere else? You really took a beating. Should I call an ambulance? Ma'am, you're exaggerating. I'm really fine. But... Enough, Catherine. He said he's fine, so just leave it alone. I can't just leave it alone. Why the hell not? I'm your husband, and I'm telling you to drop it. You don't need to worry about someone like him. Clearly agitated, Lucas was yelling, trying to drag Catherine away from me. However, she completely ignored him. Instead, she helped me up and tried to seat me in a chair, taking care of me attentively. Seeing this, Lucas grew even more furious. Knock it off already. I'm your husband. Get over here. With that, Lucas grabbed her arm and pulled her toward him. That's when it happened. Catherine slapped him across the cheek. You're the one who needs to knock it off. Do you even realize what you've done? Ouch. Why are you so angry? Why wouldn't I be? You lash out and hit anyone for no reason. When are you going to outgrow this stupid fighting habit? You're an embarrassment at your age. No wonder you've never been promoted to an executive position. What did you say? I don't care about becoming an executive. I've decided to stay active for life. Not even you can criticize the way I live. Staying active for life sounds cool, but it's just because no one will promote you. After the way you act, it's no surprise you're not an executive. What? I've had enough. I can't stay married to someone as foolish as you. I want a divorce. What? Why are you talking about divorce? I've told you before. You're too stupid to stay with. Starting a fight at a reunion? That's unheard of. Don't you care about how much trouble you've caused for everyone else? That's none of my business. That's exactly why I'm divorcing you. Marrying you was a mistake. What the hell are you saying, you bitch? Lucas, overcome with rage, raised his hand to strike Catherine. She shrank back, unable to move, tightly closing her eyes. I stepped in to protect her, placing myself between them and grabbing Lucas' descending arm. Ouch! What the hell are you doing? That's my line. Raising your hand against a woman? You're a disgrace to the gang. Thank you. Ha, I knew it. You're into my wife, aren't you? I can't take it anymore. I've put up with everything you've done until now, but I'm done. What? The reason you wanted to marry me, did you think I didn't know? You thought that by marrying the boss's daughter, you'd become an executive. Maybe even the underboss, and eventually take his seat, but my father doesn't make just anyone an executive. Not even his son-in-law, he makes decisions based on what's best for the group, yet because you've never been promoted, you blame everyone else. And on top of that, you act out like this, causing trouble everywhere, which is exactly why my father doesn't acknowledge you. And do you think I haven't thought about divorce before, knowing about your women but staying quiet because that's part of a gang's life? Enduring it all, yet you don't even understand the hardship I've endured, and now you go and do something as stupid as this? Ugh, shut up. What do you mean, stupid? Hitting Arnold Gang's leader? That's nothing but pure stupidity. If Mr. Arnold gets angry, he could crush our gang in an instant. Don't you even realize that? No matter how close you are as old classmates, this is way out of line. It's proof you're not thinking about our gang at all. Shut up, shut up. Stop screeching like that. You're the one making all the noise. Who cares if he's the head of the Arnold gang? Sure, to you, he's some big deal, but to me, he's just a classmate. Are you seriously 65 years old and still don't get how the world works? Don't you dare talk back to me. I said this is fine, and that's that. She glared at Lucas with eyes full of anger. Lucas, though just as angry, seemed to shrink under the intensity of her fury. Still, if left alone, there was no guarantee Lucas wouldn't lash out again. That would ruin the reunion for everyone else. I pulled out my phone and called one of my executives, who was waiting outside the venue, instructing him to come in immediately. Moments later, the doors opened, and two men entered. Mr. Arnold, what can we do for you? Catherine, you said you're serious about divorcing him. If that's the case, I'll deal with this without holding back. Yes, I'm serious. I've had enough of him. All right, I understand. Take that man to the Turner gang. Yes, sir. The two men grabbed Lucas by the arms and began escorting him out of the venue. Of course, Lucas didn't go quietly. He shouted and struggled the entire way. Damn it! What are you doing? Let me go. Let me go, damn it. Do you even know who I am? I'm Lucas from the Turner gang. Oh, how embarrassing. Even shouting his name, no one knows who he is. Mr. Arnold, I truly apologize for what he's done. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But I'm so sorry to make such a bold request, but please, I beg you, don't destroy our gang. Ah, don't worry, I won't do that. If you're still concerned, why don't you come along? Staying here doesn't make much sense. Since you're not a classmate, and you likely wouldn't fit in with the conversations anyway. Besides, after all that, the others are probably feeling uncomfortable. Yes, I'll do that. Thank you. Catherine bowed deeply and said, I apologize for all the trouble I've caused. I'll be taking my leave now. With that polite farewell, she exited the venue. She's far too good for someone like Lucas. When we arrived at the Turner gang office, my men threw Lucas in front of the Turner gang leader. The leader, surprised by the sudden appearance of me, my executives, and Lucas, was even more shocked to see his daughter there as well. What on earth happened here? Father. Catherine approached the Turner gang leader. Catherine, what's going on? Wasn't today Lucas' class reunion? Yes, it was. But we met Mr. Arnold there. Which means Lucas and Mr. Renaud are old classmates. Yes, but Lucas hit Mr. Arnold. Hit him? Why on earth would he do that? I don't really know. I was in the restroom when it happened. I'm so sorry. Lucas, why would you hit him? Because he was making eyes at Catherine. Making eyes? Mr. Arnold? That's right. That's absurd. Mr. Arnold, is there any truth to this? Of course not. Maybe in my younger days, but at this age, I don't have the energy to be looking at another man's wife like that. You don't know that. Look at her, she's such a beautiful woman. There's no way any man could just sit back and not make a move. No, not even then. I can't imagine Mr. Arnold doing such a thing, regardless of age. It's just not in his nature. How can you be so sure? He's always been the kind of guy to steal my women. What? I think there's been a misunderstanding. Back when we were kids, I dated someone who turned out to have been Lucas' ex-girlfriend. Ah, I see. That kind of thing happens. Yeah, but no matter how much I explain, he just doesn't get it. Unbelievable. And in the end, he accused me of making eyes at her and then hit me. What a ridiculous thing. Lucas, you knew this man as Mr. Arnold, and you still did something like that? Mr. Arnold or not, that doesn't matter to me. He's just an old friend from when we were kids. A friend? That's right. What's with that smug look? Mr. Arnold, is that the kind of relationship you have with Lucas? Not at all. We didn't even interact as kids. I have no idea why he's so convinced we're close. See, Lucas? It's all in your head. That's not true. Regardless, hitting Mr. Arnold is unacceptable. It's not a big deal. Father, one more thing. I've decided to get a divorce. What? Really? Yes, I'm completely fed up. I've decided to end this marriage. I see. Well, Mr. Turner, I don't want a divorce. Why do I have to separate from her? We've been together for so many years, and now we're entering old age. I refuse to let Catherine go. But, Lucas, Catherine wants a divorce. I've also thought for a long time that you two aren't well matched. What do you mean? What do I mean? When she said she wanted to marry you, I was against it. But because she insisted, I allowed it. Still, as a son-in-law, you've never had the qualities of a leader. No matter how much I wanted to help, there was nothing I could do. Catherine, on the other hand, has more of a leader's demeanor. That's ridiculous. So I always wondered when you two would break up. At over 60, she finally made this decision, but it's better late than never. Now I can rest easy when my time comes. That's ridiculous. I won't separate from Catherine. I'll never let her go. I don't want to stay with a man who raises his hand against women. A real man would endure no matter what is said to him. And as a son-in-law, you should know your place and not start fights without thinking. How can I feel safe with you around? What? Is that what happened? Yes, when Mr. Arnold had a nosebleed, I was helping him, and Lucas told me it wasn't necessary and pulled my arm. When I declared I wanted a divorce, he tried to hit me. That's when Mr. Arnold stepped in and protected me. I see. Mr. Arnold, thank you so much. Don't mention it. I can't stand men who raise their hands against women. Women should be cherished. I see, in that case, this divorce is settled. With that, Mr. Turner pulled a divorce petition from his drawer. Here, sign this. What? Why do you already have this? Because I've been waiting for the day you and Catherine would separate. I thought having it ready might make it happen, and here we are. This can't be. Go ahead and sign. No matter how much you resist, it won't change anything. Damn it! Lucas, with a frustrated look, signed the petition and tossed the pen aside. Seeing this, Mr. Turner happily handed the document to Catherine. Catherine took the pen and signed her name. Now we're strangers. Finally, I feel relieved. You have a mistress anyway, so this shouldn't be a problem for you. Oomph. Now that the divorce is finalized, it's my turn to address things. With that, I sat down in a chair. Indeed. After what he's done, he won't get off scot-free. But, you're not thinking of destroying the gang, are you? Don't worry. I'm not considering that. Thank you. Catherine requested it, after all. But Lucas hasn't said a single word. No apology, no concern for the gang. He's selfish through and through. Yes, that's right. There's no way someone like him could ever become an executive. Exactly. I'd think the same. Shut up. I'll do things my way. Is that so? Then I'll do things my way too. What? You punched Arnold's face. You understand this won't come cheap, right? Shh. It's just a face, isn't it? What's the big deal? He may call himself a chairman, but he's just a retired old man. So what if I hit a retired geezer's face? Lucas. Well, I guess you just don't understand the gravity of it. If that's the case, I'll make you understand. There's still plenty you don't know at your age, and learning new things can be enlightening, don't you think? Ha! Don't mess with me. So, how do you intend to make amends? Make amends? Yeah, your life or your money? Which will it be? What? Life or money, it's all the same to me. Just pick one. Neither. Why should I put my life on the line just for punching your face? As for money, forget it. I should be charging you for dirtying my fist on your face. I see. You really are clueless. Alright, make him feel some pain. Got it. At my signal, my men clenched their fists and punched Lucas square in the face. Blow after blow from the two men left Lucas's face red and swollen as he started begging for his life. Please, stop. I'm sorry. I'm old. If I get hit like this, my bones will break. Broken bones don't heal easily at my age. Please, have mercy. If you want mercy, then decide how you'll make amends, your life or your money. I'm not a patient man. Okay. I'll decide. Just stop. Alright, stop. Now, let's hear it. How will you settle this? Money. I'll pay with money. Good. How much? $10,000? $20,000? Lucas, you really crack me up. You think you can get away with hitting the chairman of Arnold Group for such a paltry sum? The scale is completely off. Scale. Yeah, the scale. $10,000 or $20,000 is for low-level guys like you. My face represents the gang. Paying that little wouldn't uphold the group's honor. $100,000? Still not enough. $200,000? $1 million. $1 million. A million? Yeah, $1 million. No way. What did you expect? You punched the chairman's face. Paying that much is only natural. But I don't have that kind of money. Catherine, help me. You could ask Mr. Turner, couldn't you? Did you forget? We're divorced now. I'm done cleaning up your messes. No way. So, what will it be? Are you paying or not? I can't pay. I don't have the money. Then borrow it. Isn't that what loan sharks specializing in gang are for? Should I call one for you? They'll come right away if I make a call. Fine. Please do. Alright, I'll call them. Catherine said this with a smile, then immediately contacted Samuel from Blue Dragon Finance. After a short while, a black sedan pulled up in front of the office, and a polite-looking man in his 60s stepped out. Thank you for waiting. Hey, Samuel. Mr. Arnold and Mr. Turner. It's been a while. Oh my, even your daughter is here. What a rare gathering. Certainly rare. Anyway, Samuel, could you lend Lucas $1 million? Pass that money along to Mr. Arnold. Of course, sir. While I process the transfer, please have him sign the loan agreement and the life insurance application. Samuel, where are you planning to send me? Lucas asked nervously. Well, for $1 million, a crab fishing boat would be ideal. But considering your age, This guy loves throwing punches. He even hit me earlier, I added. Is that so? Then I have just the place for him, a survival game arena. A real-life survival game, huh? Sounds perfect for him. He can fight to his heart's content. Precisely. Everyone around him will be enemies, and there's no way to escape. Good luck. Survive for 10 years, and you can pay back the principal. And how many years would it take to pay off the interest? Lucas muttered. Who knows? Let's find out. Now that the paperwork is signed, let's proceed. Lucas was taken away, and given his age, there was no chance he'd make it back alive. What a fool, I thought, chuckling to myself. After everything that had happened, I considered how Catherine, despite being prepared for divorce, must feel after parting with a husband of decades. Thinking it must be painful for her, I decided to invite her for a meal. When I asked how she felt, her response surprised me. Do you think I feel sad seeing him taken away? Sad? Not at all. At his age, there's no way he'll survive the survival game, and honestly, I feel relieved. Otherwise, he'd have stalked me even after the divorce. So, you really have no regrets? None at all. I know I must seem like a cold woman, but this was inevitable. He never worked, was selfish, and had a terrible habit with women. You have no idea how much I've suffered. The only reason I didn't divorce him sooner was fear that he'd harass me afterward. You could have asked Mr. Turner for help. I could have, but since I married against his wishes, I couldn't bring myself to ask for help when things got tough. She laughed brightly as she spoke, her joy at being free from Lucas unmistakable.